Hi, my name is Hans-Peter Meyer, and this is the second of our video wine tastings. Today I'm talking with and tasting with Gregor Mowatt here at Crown Isle. And Gregor, can you just tell us what wines you've got here selected?
We have selected three completely different wines from different parts of the world. We have a Prosecco from northern Italy. We have a new wine from a very popular company, Oyster Bay. This is a Pinot Grigio from New Zealand. And then we have a Malbec from Argentina, Bodega Norton. Okay,
so three really different wines. They're all here at Crown Isle, right? If we go to the restaurant here, we can find these. Is that right?
The outside two, yes, and the Oyster Bay Pinot Grigio will be featuring the month of April and May.
Okay, so why did you select these, and what should we be looking for? Let's start with the Prosecco.
The Prosecco is just pure fun. The sun's coming out now, the flowers are starting to blossom and bloom, and there's heat in the air. Well, maybe not today, but bubble is just a great way to start any event, any party, any luncheon, is to pour a glass of sparkling wine. In this case, it's Prosecco. This is specifically to a region in Italy. Nowhere else in the world can they call a wine Prosecco except this one little region, just to the east of Verona. So.
Now, this is a different style than the champagne method, right? Can you tell me how it's different?
Well, Prosecco is less expensive to purchase and to make. Basically, they do infuse the still wine with carbonation, whereas in champagne it's quite a bit more rigorous, and hence the price of champagne is quite a bit higher. So this is meant to be consumed very fresh, not age. As I mentioned, it should be probably drunk within a year of purchase.
Okay, so what kind of flavor should I be looking for when I open up my bottle of Prosecco?
This particular one, get a lot of nice blossom. Just as it going into your mouth, you get the nice blossom in the air almost. Get some nice green apple, not sharp Granny Smith apple, but sort of that green apple that's not as sharp, and some sort of that softer yellow. You know, that apple that's kind of squishy.
Delicious.
Yeah, delicious maybe. I don't know if it's delicious in my glass, but it's just bright and fresh and gets you going. It lifts you up. Sparkling wine is a spirit lifter, I think.
Okay, so what would you pair it with off your menu?
I like sparkling. I like this particular wine just on its own, but if I was to have this in the restaurant, oysters on the half shell would work with it, as well as a lightly done calamari, not overly fried. Our calamari is nice and light and fresh, or if we just a little bowl of smoked almonds or something. That we don't sell that out here, but that's really the concept of Prosecco. It's just fresh and fun and gets you going.
Okay, now the next wine here, the Oyster Bay Pinot Grigio rather than Pinot Gris. Tell me why the difference in the name and what I should be tasting.
I can't tell you why they chose Pinot Grigio. I've seen more New World producers, and New Zealand is a New World producer, calling their wine Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris tends to be more of the French style, a little fuller flavors, a little fatter perhaps on the palate. Pinot Grigio, more the Italian style, lean and crisp. I didn't get into it with the producers. I met them recently. Why they marketed it this way, it's their choice. It's the same grape varietal.
It definitely has fattened up since we first tasted it. I mean, in the last half an hour, it's gotten a lot more fuller. Makes
it a nice, versatile wine with food. You don't just necessarily, my mouth's watering. It's so good. It's great with seafood. This wine replaces. It almost bridges a gap between their Sauvignon Blanc and a Chardonnay. It's got that braciness of the Sauvignon Blanc, but a little more body, but it's not the bigger, full style of a Chardonnay. So
okay. So seafood, you've got lots of seafood on the menu?
Lots of seafood on the menu. Salmon with a crab and brie crust salad would be great with this. Fresh, and because the salmon's on top of a bed of greens, it's not a heavy meal. It's just a nice fresh, that's a lunch or dinner meal. Again, seafood pairings, scallops. You could work calamari with this. You can do oysters with this. And it'll work with sandwiches too, any kind of wrap. Okay. Very versatile.
Okay, well, so we've started with, let's say, oysters and Prosecco, and then we've moved on to a salad, seafood salad. Now we've got something, I'm anticipating that it's going to be, yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, it's the barrels, this is Bodega Norton's Barrel Select Malbec. I chose it because I haven't been a Malbec fan. At the entry price range, I find them very jammy, overripe, and very simple. I tasted this wine, which is just priced a little higher than entry, and I just like the complexity. It's got a little earthiness to it. It has 12 months in barrel, which is really giving it that edges. And I like a wine with definition, and I think this wine is casual, that you could have it with a sandwich or a burger, like I mentioned, or you could have that with your lamb and your steaks at dinner time. Malbec is meant for meat. In Argentina, so we talked about breakfast, lunch, and dinner steak. Right. And this has just got enough oomph to it that it'll hold up to the big grilled meats. And to me, it's an interesting wine. We sell this by the glass, and my philosophy with by the glass is it has to be good on its own. You can't say, well, that wine would be good if it had. This wine's good on its own, but it'll also complement what we do when we bring the plate to your table.
Well, I'm pretty new to this, but I am tasting kind of leathery kind of stuff in there, and I like that.
Definitely more that old world style. That, again, 12 months in oak will give it that sort of the tannin structure to the wine. I call it definition for lack of probably the real word. But it's just a nice glass of wine that's interesting, holds your attention, and when your food comes, it'll work really nicely with it.
Okay, thank you very much for running through these three. Now, if I was going to have a wine, can you give me one tip for if I was going to have a wine tasting at home? What should I be doing here?
I can never give one tip. Clean glassware. Make sure the glassware is clean. Smell your glasses before you start pouring wine into them. Rinse them with a filtered water if you need to splash some water into them. And my second tip, because I have to, is pre-taste your wines. Make sure they are what you want them to be, or what you have either imagined them to be or heard them what the wine should be like. So you're not presenting a wine that isn't perfect.
Right. I mean, I'd hate to open up a bottle of wine, have people taste it, and there's a piece of cork in it or something like that.
It happens. I mean, the cork mustiness, lesser and less nowadays, but you do get flawed wines still out there, and you also want to have a precursor of what the wine's going to taste like, so it makes you sound more educated.
Okay, well, thank you very much for opening these wines with me and having me taste them, Gregor. And thank you for watching. I've been talking with Gregor Mowatt. He's the Director of Operations here at Crown Isle Resort in the Comox Valley. And all of the wines we've tasted will be on the list this spring. The Oyster Bay Pinot Grigio will be here in April and May. And thank you very much, Gregor.
Pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching. I like this.